Your instructor has given you an assignment with requirements of 1-inch margins and double spacing. However, you're not sure how to do that. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to set your margins and spacing in both Microsoft Word and Google Docs. It is often easiest to change the settings right at the beginning of your paper. However, if you haven't done so, you can still change the settings as long as you make sure the changes apply to your existing work. In Microsoft Word, you'll notice a set of tabs along the top. Starting with File, we're going to click on Page Layout. You'll notice that the very first button is for margins. Click it. There are pre-programmed settings you can choose from. Notice the one called Normal. That is already set for 1-inch margins all the way around. This is the setting that will most often be required for your assignments. Click the button and it should apply the settings to your document. If your project requires different settings, there are other options to choose from. If you don't see what you want, you can click on Custom Margins down at the bottom. Then you can set the measurements yourself. You can also set the changes to apply to the whole document or only from the point where you are currently working. For spacing, we need to click on the Home tab. You'll notice in the box that says Paragraph, there is a button with lines and an up and down arrow next to them. Click on the drop-down arrow. This will allow you to change your spacing from single spacing, or 1.0, to double spacing, or 2.0. There are other options as well. And just as before, click on Line Spacing Options if you want to customize your settings. If you are in the middle of your assignment, when you realize you need to change your spacing, you will need to highlight any previous text you want changed and then click the option for the correct spacing. If you do not, it will only change the spacing for any future text, not the text you've already written. That is how to change the margins and spacing in Microsoft Word. In Google Docs, these same rules still apply. The main difference is where the settings are located. Margins are automatically set to 1 inch. To change them, click File and Page Setup. Then you can adjust the numbers manually. Unlike Word, Google Docs does not have other pre-made settings, but you can adjust the margins yourself. To adjust spacing, you'll see the same button with lines beside an up and down arrow along the toolbar. If you click on it, it will allow you to choose between several options, including single and double spacing. There is also a button for custom spacing if you would like to choose your own. And that's it! You've just learned how to change your margins and spacing in both Microsoft Word and Google Docs. If you need further help, do not hesitate to contact the library at Kalamazoo Valley Community College.